This past week has been all about tensions between India and Canada over the suspected involvement of the government of India in the murder of a Canadian citizen, Hardeep Singh Nijjar. What are the latest updates with regards to the tensions between India and Canada? How are the current relations? And what are the most common questions people are asking over the events that have occurred throughout this past week? We're going to talk about all of this in this video. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we are going to go over the latest updates with regards to the tensions between India and Canada, and we will explain things via answering commonly asked questions. That way you would be able to understand what all has happened and what are the implications for all of those things on you as you plan to travel to India. In our last video that came in on Wednesday, we talked about the relations between the two countries, the reasons why the relations had deteriorated, and that Canada has expelled diplomats, so did India, and that was it. However, some breaking events occurred right after that video was uploaded, and the biggest one was that India decided to cancel the issuance of visas or to stop the visa issuing services for Canadians who are inside Canada. This means that if you are a Canadian citizen and you're planning to go to India and you're planning on applying for a visa right now, you would not be able to apply for a visa. Since this update, there were concerns whether the Canadian government will reciprocate and retaliate, and if they will stop the issuance of visas to Canada for Indian nationals. This was a huge concern for people who are waiting to get their visas to come to Canada for study, for folks who are inviting their parents over, for parents, grandparents, for spouses who are eager to meet their husbands or wives in Canada. Well, so far Canada has not announced anything, which is a great news. It's been around 3 days now since India has announced that they will not issue any visas to Canadians. The Canadian government has not retaliated or reciprocated with equal amount of sanctions. Now, talking about the cancellation of visa issuance to Canadians, if you are a Canadian citizen, you had made plans, made reservations to travel to India later this year, for example, or early next year, and you were going to apply for visa, well, you have to reconsider your plans right now, because at the moment you won't be able to get a visa to travel to India, and hence you won't be able to travel to India. Now, what if you are a Canadian who already holds a valid visa to India, or you have a valid OCI card to India? Well, you are free to travel. There is no restriction on your travel. Since you have a valid visa, you can travel to India at any time. If you are an Indian citizen who is working in Canada or who is studying in Canada and you wish to travel to India, no problem. You are an Indian citizen. You have the right to travel to India at any point in time. Now, the next question is that the visa services have been stopped for Canadians. What about the Indian nationals who are trying to renew their passport in Canada, or who are trying to obtain other consular services such as a police clearance certificate? Well, the government has made it very clear. They've posted this on Twitter over here. If you are an Indian national and you are seeking passport services or police clearance services, all the consular services with regards to Indian nationals will be continued. They will be offered and you have nothing to worry about. So if you had a PR application that you need to apply for, you need a PCC, or your passport is expiring, you need to renew it, well, those services are available. You don't need to worry. At the end, the common question is, well, all these tensions going on, India cancelling the visa issuance for Canadians, is it a good idea for us to travel to India right now? The answer is, for example, if you are a Canadian citizen and hold a valid visa, you are free to travel, and at any point when you are trying to come back, since you're a Canadian or you're a permanent resident, there won't be any implications. Even if Canada decides to cancel issuance of visas for Indians in the future, it is very unlikely, but even if that happens in the future, if you already hold a valid visa, Canadian passport, or a Canadian permanent resident card, you should be able to come back. On the other hand, if you are traveling and say that you do not have a visa or you do not have a PR card, or you need to get something stamped in India in order to come back to Canada, at the moment you have nothing to worry about because all those services are still available. In the future, we don't know yet how the Canadian government is going to respond or what else is going to unfold in the coming days. So if you are planning to travel to India right now and you do not have the documents to return back, then you may want to know that there is a risk that if Canadian government decides to take action in terms of stopping the visa issuance or stopping consular services for Indian nationals, then you may have to be stuck in India for some time until things get resolved. So that's it for today, guys. In summary, at the moment India has placed visa issuance ban on Canadian nationals, so no new visas will be issued. If you are a Canadian planning to travel, unless you already have a visa, you won't be able to travel to India at the moment. If you are a Canadian or a Canadian visa holder and you are planning to travel to India, you are free to travel as long as you have the visa or the Indian passport to travel to India. Coming back is also okay. However, in future, if Canadian government decides to make some changes, then there may be a possibility that you might be risking your return to Canada. However, there is no news or no mention of that yet. I hope this was helpful. I hope this gave you some more information about where we are at in terms of the relation between the two countries. And I hope you got a good sense of it and it clarified a lot of the confusion. That's it for today, guys. Good luck, and I hope all the tensions between the two countries are resolved very soon. Both are democracies, both are great countries, so I think they should be working together, not against each other. Thanks a lot for watching. If you like this video, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so that you're notified about any new informative video that we upload. As we keep uploading informative videos every Wednesday and Saturday, you don't want to miss it. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.